Yo, what's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. And in today's video we're going with the bold predictions for every UFC division in 2024. I'm cooking up here. I've got a bunch of bold predictions, and yeah, I'm going to make a bunch of statements and they're all going to be right, and then I'm going to come back at the end of the year and say I told you so. So that's the deal. That's what's going to happen. You guys let me know your bold predictions in the comments down below, but we're going to go through every single division. I'm going to give a couple takes. I think it's like 4 per division, except for women's because no one cares about that. But I'm giving 4 takes for each division and my bold predictions, or what I think is going to happen. So we're going to get started with the women's divisions. Don't worry, I'm not going to put you through 4 takes for each division. I'm going with 1 take for each division. So, for women's strawweight, Zhang Weili will clean out the division. She will defend the title at least twice against Yan Xiaonan and Tatiana Suarez. And yeah, she's basically going to just tell everyone that there's no interesting matchups at strawweight and that she beats everyone. Valentina Shevchenko will retire in 2024. That is my bold prediction for flyweight. And then Mayra Bueno Silva will win the belt and defend it multiple times. That is my, I guess, bold prediction for the women's bantamweight division. But no one cares about women's MMA. Let's be real. I also think there's a very good chance that we see a champ-champ fight between Zhang Weili and Alexa Grasso, in which case I can see Zhang Weili becoming a double champion. But regardless, we're going to move on to the next division, and it's men's flyweight. So, my first bold take is that Alessandro Pantoja will retain his belt for the whole of 2024 with 2 title defenses. I guess, I don't know if you can call it a bold take, but that's my take in terms of just the title holder. I think Alessandro Pantoja will beat the winner of Albazi versus Moreno, and then he will beat Manel Kape later in the year. So I think he holds the belt, but I do believe he's going to start to decline, and the Manel Kape fight will be pretty close, and then people are going to start kind of talking about Pantoja's not looking at his best, is he? So that's what I think is going to happen. But Kai Kara-France will drop in the rankings and likely not win a fight. That's my bold prediction for Kai Kara-France. I think he's going to go on a bit of a downfall, or I think he's not going to fight for like the first half of the year, and I think he's going to lose once or twice later in the year. Maybe he loses to a Muhammad Mokaev, maybe a Tatsuro Taira, but I think Kai Kara-France is going to go winless in 2024. I'm sorry. But another take is Brandon Moreno will go even on wins and losses in 2024. I think this guy's going to fight twice. If he fights 4 times, then great, he'll go 2-2. But I think he's going to fight twice, and I think he's going to go 1-1. I think he beats Amir Albazi in Mexico. Great win is what I think is going to happen. And then I do believe he will lose to Pantoja if they fight again. Or if they make him fight someone else, I think he loses that. But I only think we see Moreno twice, and I think he goes even 1-1, and it's just kind of, you kind of see the days of title picture for Brandon Moreno are kind of going away. But Muhammad Mokaev and Tatsuro Taira will be top 7 fighters by the end of the year. I was going to say top 5, but I just don't see them pushing Taira that fast. But I think both of these guys are obviously going to go undefeated. I see Muhammad Mokaev beating Alex Perez. He's got a fight lined up there. I think Tatsuro Taira is going to get a win over someone like a Tim Elliott maybe. And then I think he's going to get a win over like a Kai Kara-France. And then I see Muhammad Mokaev beating like an Amir Albazi maybe. They could do something like that in Abu Dhabi. I think that's what's going to happen. But we move on to the Bantamweight division. Sean O'Malley will defend against Cheeto but lose the belt to Sandhagen or Merab. I think Corey Sandhagen, I do believe, will end the year as champion. I said that in my champions predictions video, but I do also believe that if he doesn't fight for the belt, I think he wins the belt if he fights for it. But if it's Merab that gets the shot after a win over Cejudo, which I predict, then I think he will beat O'Malley as well. So O'Malley will not end the year as champion, but he will defend dominantly against Cheeto in March. But Peter Yan will lose to Song Yadong, but end the year on a win. I'm being positive here because originally my take was going to be Peter Yan goes winless again and goes to ONE FC, and that would have just made everyone sad, including myself. So I'm going to think positive. So he's going to lose to Song. I do strongly believe that, but I think he's going to end the year on a win, whether it be to Dominic Cruz, maybe a Rob Font. I think there are definite guys that he can beat. But I have a worry that if he loses to Song Yadong, they're going to give him Jonathan Martinez and he's going to get leg kick TKO'd. Like, that's just, I've got a feeling, man. It's rough. But I was going to predict we see Peter Yan in ONE FC by the end of the year, but I'm going to be positive and say he goes 1-1 in 2024. But my next bold prediction is Henry Cejudo will retire after 2 losses in 2024. I do believe that we are going to see the downfall and the retirement and the decline, I guess, or the departure of the sport from Henry Cejudo. I think he will lose to Marab dominantly 30-27 and just have nothing for him. And then I think they're going to give him like maybe a Song Yudong, maybe a Sandhagen. But I think regardless, I think he's going to, maybe an Umar even. I doubt Umar though, because I feel like he knows those guys. But regardless, I think Henry Cejudo is going to go 0-2 in 2024 and he's going to retire late in the year. But the next and final bold prediction for Bantamweight, Umar Nurmagomedov will either lose or have a stock decreasing performance. I think if he does end up fighting Corey Sandhagen, I know there's a lot of talks going around about that. I do believe he would lose to Corey Sandhagen by decision 49-46. But regardless, if he doesn't fight Corey, if he fights maybe like a Figueiredo, if he fights maybe even a Cejudo or a Peter Yan, I think whether he wins or loses, he's going to have a stock decreasing performance. There's going to be a thing where we go, okay, we got to pump the brakes on Umar. He's not a fucking future 10-time champion. Like, just chill for a sec. So, because I know there's a lot of talk going around right now that Umar's already a top 3 fucking bantamweight. Like, chill, guys, come on. But I think he's going to either lose to Corey Sandhagen or lose to maybe a Peter Yan, or he's going to have a fight where we just go, okay, we got to chill on this guy. Like, he's not unbeatable. But the next division we have is Featherweight. And I'm kind of setting myself up here because I'm saying, okay, Volkanovski will either go undefeated 3-0 or without a win 0-2. So I'm predicting either an amazing year for Volk where he just silences the doubters and tells everyone that I'm still the guy, I'm still the man at Featherweight, or he's going to go on that downfall and he's going to lose twice to Ilia Topuria. And yeah, it's going to be tough. But I hope he's going to go 3-0. I predict he beats Ilia Topuria by close decision. I then predict he beats the winner of Allen versus Evloev, maybe in Australia. And then I think they can give him another less deserving opponent by the end of the year. Maybe like a Calvin Kattar if he beats Sterling, which I do predict. But that leads into my next prediction, which is Brian Ortega and Aljamain Sterling will not win a fight in 2024. We're going to see both of these guys go winless. Brian Ortega is going to get finished by Yair in the first 2 rounds. Aljamain Sterling's going to lose a dominant decision to Calvin Kattar, and then they're both going to lose their next fight too, unless it's against each other, in which case one of them will win. But I don't see the year going well for either of these guys. Ortega's coming back after too long. He's not that good. And Aljamain Sterling, I just don't see having success at featherweight. So those are my predictions for them too. But another prediction I have is Diego Lopez will end the year top 5 or just outside it. I know 2023 was the year of being introduced to Diego Lopez. The hype around him definitely just appeared out of nowhere. But I think 2024 is going to be the year when he capitalizes on that hype and when he really cashes in and jumps those rankings. Because right now he's not ranked, but I think they're going to get him an opponent, maybe for UFC 300, a ranked opponent like that. Maybe Dan Ige. Oh no, he's got a fight booked. So maybe like a Sadiq Yusuf, I guess. But they're going to give him someone, and then I think he's going to beat Brian Ortega later in the year too, and I think he's going to get one other win maybe. So I think he's going to get one guy from 10 to 15, and then I think he's going to get like a Josh Emmett maybe, and then he's going to get like an Ortega in the top 5. So I think Diego Lopez will enter the top 5 this year. But also another prediction, and my final prediction for featherweight is Max Holloway will lose a non-title fight for the first time in fucking ages, whether it be at 145 or 155, and I think he gets finished. It's just a vibe I've got, you know. Max Holloway, I do think if he fights Ilia Topuria, I could see him getting a decision using his chin, but that's the title fight. I think if he fights either at lightweight against a Justin Gaethje or Charles Oliveira, I think he gets finished. And if he fights a Josh Emmett, even though he's way better than Josh Emmett, I've just got a vibe that he gets chinned. So Max Holloway will lose his first ever non-title fight since, when would it be? When was the last time he lost a non-title fight? Because Poirier at lightweight was the interim, and apart from that, it's been all Volk. So I don't know when the last time he lost a non-title fight was, but regardless, that's going to happen in 2024. Our next division is lightweight. Islam Makhachev will have his final fight at 155 this year. I think, call it a call it a guess, call it a vibe, but I think we see Islam fight 2 times this year. Hopefully 3, but I think it's more likely going to be 2 times. And then I think he dips and goes up to welterweight. I think he beats Justin Gaethje in March. I think they're going to get that done for Riyadh in Saudi Arabia. And then I think he's going to fight in Abu Dhabi. And I think he's going to fight the winner of a matchup between Oliveira and Arman Sayukian, which I think is going to be Oliveira. But regardless, I think he beats either of those guys. And then I think he's going to dip. He's going to see a certain Frenchman coming up the rankings, and he's not going to want that smoke. And apart from that, he's really got no contenders. So I do think he's going to clean out the division apart from one man, which is Bernard St. Denis, and I'll talk about him in a moment. But I think Islam goes up to welterweight in 2025 and eyes a champ fight with Leon Edwards, maybe even Shavkat if he gets the belt. But Dustin Poirier will not fight a ranked lightweight in 2024. I think P-Head is going to sit on his ranking. I think he's going to be a bitch. And I think he's not going to fight a guy in the lightweight division. It's annoying. I fucking hate this because I want to see Poirier fight, but this guy just apparently refuses to defend his ranking. He just holds on to the top 5 forever. He's number 3. Hasn't fought down the rankings like ever. He fought Chandler and that was it. But regardless, Poirier, I don't think he'll fight Diaz, but I think he's going to fight someone weird that isn't like, I don't know. This guy seems like he just doesn't want to fucking fight contenders. It's odd. But regardless, I think he wins a fight up at welterweight maybe, or not even wins, just fights at welterweight. Maybe they do like the winner of Della versus Burns against Poirier. That would be sick, especially Della. Imagine Della versus Poirier. That boxing would be tremendous. But I don't think he's going to defend the rankings. I want to see him fight Arman. I want to see him fight Bernard, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's going to bitch it. So, speak of Bernard, his man is going to end the year as the number 1 contender or booked in a number 1 contender fight. I'm very high on Bernard St. Denis. I think he is a future champion, and I think 2024 is going to be his year where he just climbs the rankings faster than anyone. I think he's going to get a win over someone like a Beneil Dariush or a Dan Hooker. I think that's going to happen in March or April at UFC 300. Then I think he's going to beat Justin Gaethje after he loses to Islam Makhachev, which is what I think is going to happen. I think because then if he beats Beneil Dariush, I think he's ranked like number 7. And then if Justin Gaethje loses, he'll probably be ranked number 3. I think number 7 versus 3 fights Justin Gaethje, wins, and I think that could end up being in Paris, France. Maybe that would be sick as the main event. That would be amazing. But yeah, I think he is either booked for a number 1 contender fight if he doesn't get that Gaethje fight, if he has to then fight like a Fiziev instead. But I think he ends the year firmly in the top 5 and looking at a title shot, maybe even looking at a vacant title fight if Makhachev leaves. But my other prediction is that Elvis Brenner and Mateusz Rebecki will enter the rankings, and Dan Hooker and Beneil Dariush will leave the rankings, or at least 2 people will leave the rankings. Like maybe Bobby Green too, and maybe Moicano and RDA as well. But Elvis Brenner, Mateusz Rebecki, these are 2 of the guys. Nasrat Hakparast is another one. These lightweight guys that I think are coming up, and I do think they are going to do very well. I think Elvis Brenner is going to get a top, I think he's going to end the year in the top, just outside the top 10, and I think Rebecki will kind of be in that top 15 spot. So I think both these guys are going to get 3 wins each this year, and they're both going to make a big statement and be in the top 15. But welterweight division, Leon Edwards will rival Kamaru Usman's legacy by the end of the year. I think he beats Bilal Muhammad in April at UFC 300 by decision. And then I think he beats Shavkat Rakhmonov in September or October, maybe in Abu Dhabi. I think he beats Shavkat as well by a close decision. And that will mean 4 title defenses, but all over different individuals. Because Kamaru Usman, if you remember his reign, he beat Woodley for the belt. It was then Covington, Masvidal, Burns, Masvidal, Covington. So he just went back in a loop. And then he lost to Edwards. So Edwards knocked out Usman to win the belt, obviously. Then he defended against Usman, then Covington. If he then defends against Bilal and Shavkat, that's the top 5. That literally is the top 5 of the division. And yeah, there's not going to be that many guys. Maybe like a Della or an Ian Gary. But apart from that, I think Edwards is going to start to clear out welterweight. And although people aren't going to like it, and you're going to hear the talks of, oh, he's not dominating people, Usman's better. there is going to be a strong argument to say that Edwards has a better legacy than Usman by the end of the year. But Jack Della Maddalena and Ian Gary will both be in the top 5. That's my prediction for these two. I think Jack Della Maddalena is going to TKO Gilbert Burns in March, and Ian Gary is going to Ian Gary is going to win a decision over Jeff Neal, and then beat Colby Covington later in the year. So both of these guys are going to end the year as top 5. Della, after he beats Burns, I could see maybe a Bilal after he loses to Leon. Maybe an Usman, maybe a Shavkat, something like that. Not Shavkat, sorry. But regardless, Della and Ian Gary, both going to be top 5 guys by the end of the year. And yeah, these two are going to be the only ones else that Leon hasn't fought. But Kamaru Usman, Colby Covington, and Stephen Thompson will all retire in 2024. Or / 3 ranked welterweights will retire. So that could also be Michael Chiesa. But yeah, I do think Usman, Colby, and Thompson, or at least 2 out of those 3, are going to retire in 2024. I think Colby's not going to announce a retirement, but we're all going to I think Colby will not fight again after 2024. I don't think he's going to tell everyone he's retired, but I think he's kind of going to dip. Yeah, he's going to dip. I think he's going to lose another fight. If he loses to Gary, there's nothing left for him. He has to leave. I think Usman is going to fight maybe one more time at middleweight. If he does want to fight at welterweight, sick, but I just don't think he sees that much of a path there. Unless Bilal beats Leon. I don't think he's going to sit around till October and wait to see if Shavkat beats Leon, because I think he would still lose to Shavkat regardless. But Stephen Thompson, I'm confident retires, to be honest. I think he fights twice more. And it's not because he's on a massive downfall, but he's just it's going to be that speech of, if I'm not first, I'm last. I'm in this for titles. There's nothing else that excites me. I'm going to go. I think that's what it's going to be with Thompson. Colby, it's going to be I'm going to take a bit of time off. I'll be back. America, Patriots, all that shit. And then he's just never going to fight again. And then Usman is going to fight once more. Probably in a Legends fight. Maybe against Wonderboy. Maybe a welterweight against Robert Whittaker or something like that would be fun. But I think Usman's also going to step away. And Michael Chiesa, I do think, is going to retire as well. But a double champ fight will be lined up by early 2025. That's my other prediction. I think whether it be between Islam and Leon, I think that's more likely. But also a potential middleweight fight for Leon could be in the works, but I doubt the UFC is going to give him that. But yeah, I think either Leon will be looking to go up or Islam's going to be looking to go up. And that's because Leon's going to basically clear out the division. So the Islam Makhachev fight is going to need to happen, because otherwise there's no one else for him to fight at that time. But middleweight, Sean Strickland will retain his belt for all of 2024. It says 2023 here. I've got to change that real quick. But regardless, Strickland, I don't really think this is going to happen, but I'm going to just do it anyway and just say it for the laughs, because I would love to see him keep the belt. I think he's going to get a decision over Dricus. I think he's going to get a decision over, or a late TKO against Hamzat. If he fights Izzy in a rematch, he wins. And then I think he might beat a Robert Whittaker towards the end of the year. But yeah, I'm going to go on the record and say Strickland holds the belt for the whole year and just have fun with it. But I doubt it's going to happen. Anyway, Hamzat Chimaev will submit Adesanya if they fight, but lose his title shot. So, you guys have all seen the shit going on with Hamzat recently. Man's looking like he's in the bin, like he's fucking on death's door apparently. Not looking good at all, so I think that spells bad for him. I think his immune system is really taking a hit. It was that COVID that did it to him back a while ago. But regardless, I think he subs Adesanya. I think his grappling is just a bit too overpowering for Adesanya. And then, but regardless if it's Strickland or Dricus, I think he loses that at International Fight Week. Yeah, I think he loses to either Strickland or Dricus by TKO at International Fight Week. That's what I think is going to happen. But Roman Kopylov, Ikram Aliskerov, Caio Baralho, and Gregory Rodriguez will all enter the top 15 of the middleweight division. I think we're going to see a big kind of shift and a big change of the guard, I guess, at middleweight. A lot of guys are going to enter and a lot of guys are going to leave. I see guys like Hermansson leaving. I meant to put Joe Pyfer in there too. He's going to enter the rankings too. But I think we're going to see Hermansson fall out. We're going to see Vettori fall out. Gastelum, Chris Curtis. These kind of guys are going to fall out of the rankings. And these younger guys, these better fighters, Roman Kopylov, Ikram, Baralho, Rodriguez, Joe Pyfer, these kind of guys, even Anthony Hernandez, these guys are going to enter the rankings. So that's what I see happening. But Nassourdine Imavov and Brendan Allen will both make significant jumps in the rankings. Brendan Allen just been booked for a fight with Marvin Vettori for April. I think he wins that fight by submission. Maybe not, maybe a decision. It'll be a main event, I assume. So probably over the 5 rounds, I reckon he gets a sub. But then after that, I think he beats like a Jared Cannonier by sub. Maybe he beats the loser of Strickland versus Strickus. Maybe not, but regardless, I think he's going to enter the top 5, and I think Nassourdine Imavov is going to beat Roman Dolidze in February. I think he's going to get a decision win, and then I think he's going to beat... I'm trying to think who is that guy that he would beat. But regardless, he's ranked like number 12 now. Dolidze's number 7. I think he beats Roman. And then I think he gets another fight into the top 5. And I think he wins another decision. Gets himself into the top 5. But light heavyweight, Alex Pereira will defend the belt twice in 2024. It's a risky prediction, but I think it's going to happen. I think he beats Jamal Hill if they fight. Leg kick TKO, I guess, something like that. Or just chews him up and then slows him down, picks him apart on the feet. And then I think he beats either a Johnny Walker, an Alexander Rakic, maybe a Yuri in a rematch. I'd love to say he gets it done 3 times, but I just don't see, unless he fights in April and then like July and then like November, I guess that could happen. So maybe 3 times. Fuck it. Pereira defends the belt 3 times in 2024. But Johnny Walker will fight for a title. We're going to see the most unlikely of scenarios. He's not going to win it, but Johnny Walker will fight for the belt in 2024. I think he's going to beat Ankalaev next weekend, and then I think he's going to either get a title shot straight away and do him versus Pereira in like Brazil, or he's going to fight once more time, maybe against Khalil Roundtree, maybe against a winner of Rakic versus Yuri, something like that, maybe against the Blachowicz. But speak of Blachowicz, he will retire in 2024. Jan Blachowicz will not be in the sport anymore following the year of 2024. I think he's going to lose a fight and retire. That's what's going to happen here because he's injured. And when an injury happens later in your career, it just spells soon to be retired, honestly. But Khalil Roundtree and Azamat Murzakanov will both get top 5 matchups in 2024. These are 2 guys I'm very high on, especially Murzakanov. Roundtree's pretty solid, and because he's just got that fun fighting style and he's pretty well known, I think he will definitely get a top 5 guy. And then Murzakanov, I think, will just brutalize his way into the top 5, just fucking win fights, and then they got to give him opponents. I'm less confident on Murzakanov, even though I think he's a better fighter than Roundtree. I think Roundtree's more likely to get the push. But Murzakanov, I do think, is going to win like 2 or 3 fights in 2024 and potentially maybe get like number 6 in the rankings, I guess. But finally, the heavyweight division. Tom Aspinall will become undisputed champ after Jones and Stipe both retire, but he will defend the interim belt before then. So it's not really a bold prediction. Pretty much everyone is saying this is going to happen, but fuck it. This is my bold prediction. Tom Aspinall, yeah, he's going to defend against either Garn or the winner of Blades versus Almeida. One of those guys, and then he's just going to wait out until the end of the year and then wait for Jones versus Stipe. They're both going to retire, and he's not going to be able to get another fight in. Maybe he will, but I don't know. But Jailton Almeida will challenge for the belt after beating Curtis Blades. I do think Jailton Almeida is going to win his fight against Curtis Blades at UFC 299, and then I think he's going to challenge the belt. So whether that be before Jones vs Stipe happens, he challenges Aspinall, or whether it be after for the undisputed belt, I'm not sure, but that's what's going to happen there. But Cyril Gane will fight Sergey Pavlovich at UFC Paris in what will be one of the best heavyweight fights of all time. It's kind of just a random prediction to make, but yeah. Sergey Pavlovich, massive power puncher, you all know. Cyril Gane, real quick guy, but the difference between Gane and Aspinall is Gane just doesn't fucking KO people. So, I think this is going to be a thing where Ngannou is on the outside moving a lot, but the difference between this and the Ngannou fight is Ngannou just was not engaging as much. Obviously engaged in the wrestling, but I think these two are going to have an amazing fight at UFC Paris, something like that. Whether it be at Paris or maybe just on a pay-per-view. Regardless, I think this is going to have a great fight between these two. But Rebellis de Spain will have a historically fast climb in the rankings, going from his debut in 2024 to a top 10 fighter by the end of the year. I'm jumping on the hype train. I don't know how good this guy really is, but I'm going to back him to do pretty well. So yeah, I think he's going to win a debut against some fat heavyweight, and then I think they're just going to chuck him a top 15 guy straight away, like probably the loser of Tuivasa versus Tybura. And then he's going to smoke either of those two because they don't grapple and he's a striker. And then I think he's going to beat like a Sergey Spivak. Just catch him. Like this guy, he's 6'7". He's got an 87-inch reach. He's just a nightmare for people if you can keep him off him and if you can keep it on the feet. But yeah, those are my predictions, guys. The bold predictions for 2024. Let me know if you guys agree with my predictions. I know some of them aren't like bold, I guess, but those are just my predictions for 2024. I've got some more videos coming soon, some tier lists, all that lock in on the channel. Unfortunately, I'm still not monetized. This verification thing is being fucking retarded. So thanks, YouTube. I don't make money from this now. But I'm going to try and sort something out, see if we can figure out a way to like support me and not be broke. But yeah, regardless, guys, like the video, comment, all that. See you in the next one, everybody. Peace out.